program is proudly brought to you by Laglex Jewelry, Tabby's Empire, Fina Perez Collections, NIS Cakes, and Tees Gallery Africa.
Hello, viewers. I welcome you to this educative session of The Gist with Chacha. And today we'll be talking about teaching, a profession or a calling. And I have the perfect guest for this particular topic, and she's no other person than Ivy Setor Jakamani, and she's a teacher and she's doing marvelously well. I wouldn't say so much, but you'll be hearing from her very soon. Hello, Miss Ivy. It's been a long time. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm just a little stressed, but thankfully, the term just ended, so I can take a break. Yeah, so I'm very well. Thank you.
To be honest with you, it's really an honor to have you on the Gist with Chacha. Trust me.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here, and I'm happy and proud of what you're doing. In fact, I must say that I am very happy to be part of your story.
Thank you. Kindly introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Ivy Setor Jakamani. That's my government name. That's the name on my birth certificate. I am a teacher, and I work with a school called Beacon College International at Lashibi. I teach English language and English literature.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Before we go into the gist for today, kindly take us through a glimpse of your childhood. How was it like?
I was born in Accra, lived a bit of my life in Kotobabi, and then my family moved to Bubuashi. I spent a bit of my childhood in Bubuashi, went to Datu's Complex School in the Bubuashi branch, and then finished off at Aldoma 3 JSS then. And then I went to Accra High School. I don't know, I don't know if it's okay for me to say, but I think I have a really rough childhood, not with my parents, but in the environment I grew up in. It wasn't a really friendly place. The examples I saw around me, people my age, the examples I saw around me were not, anything to emulate. I had people my age getting pregnant then, let's say the age of maybe 13, 14, or maybe 15. Yeah, getting pregnant with, multiple men, but my mother did her best. I say my mother because my father was not in the country. Yes, so my mom did her best to shield me and my siblings from all those things. She was a bit hard on us. Now I understand why she was hard on me especially. It was because I think that she, being the only parent, not that she was a single parent, but because my father was not with us, it was difficult for her to handle me and, my brother. And I have a sister, but she lived with my father out of the country. So yeah, basically that was my childhood.
Interesting. So, who exactly is a teacher?
Well, who is a teacher? I think it's pretty simple. A teacher is anyone who has been trained, has gone to school, whether it's a teacher's training college or the university, trained to educate, to teach, to impart knowledge. So, in really basic terms, yeah, that's who a teacher is.
It is very funny how fast people forget their childhood ambitions when the reality of adulthood hit them hard. You know, is it your case? Like, did you actually have wild ambitions as a child?
Wild ambitions. I don't know if I can call it wild ambitions, but right from childhood, I loved reading. I still do. It's just that most of the things I read now are things related to my job. I rarely get time to do any kind of leisure reading, but I still do. Wild ambitions. I mean, right from childhood, I knew the path I wanted to take. I knew that whatever I was going to do later on in life was going to be related to talking. I didn't know it was teaching, but I just knew that I'd be doing a lot of talking, you know.
So you'd say teaching was not an option to survive. I see. So at what point in your life did you decide to seriously pursue a career in teaching?
For me, teaching is a good option. It has always, I won't say has always been the option. It's not like I knew right from childhood that I wanted to be a teacher. Like I said earlier, I knew that the path I wanted to take later on in life, like my career in life, definitely I knew it was going to be related to talking. But I didn't know when I was a child that I was going to be teaching. I think the path became clear for me when I entered the University of Education, Winneba, and I read English. I went to school with people who were teachers, and I had teachers in my family. My elder brother is a teacher. I have an aunt who is a teacher. My grandfather from my mother's side was a teacher. So for me, I didn't see it as something I couldn't survive on. In the beginning, I wasn't thinking of teaching as, making money out of it. I was thinking of a career. And yeah, definitely money comes out of it later. So yeah.
So would you say the passion is inborn?
Yeah, like I said, at the university, that's when I realized I wanted to be a teacher. Of course, maybe before I went to the university, I knew I loved English language. I'd always done well in English. I loved writing, I loved reading. So it was quite easy for me to decide that I wanted to study English. Funny enough, when I went to University of Education, I wanted to read English and French because I loved French too. But the University of Education was, at the time I went, they had only French and German combination, and that's not what I wanted. So I just stuck to, a full English major, and I did that, and I haven't regretted my decision.
Our typical Ghanaian society regard teaching as the least respected. It actually baffles me sometimes, but that is the inevitable psychological representation. So did you not consider the fact that your choice would be detrimental to your dignity?
No, I never thought that my choice of career would be detrimental to my dignity because I had role models, who were brilliant teachers. One of them is my brother. He still teaches. He teaches at Ghana International School. He teaches literature. And then I'm sure you know Mr. Afo, the national coach of the spelling bee. He was also a major influence in my life. So for me, there was nothing that anybody could do which would make me feel any less of a human or which made me look down upon myself that I was a teacher. Never, 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 never. I loved teaching. I have always loved it. I still do. And for me, I am proud to be a teacher. I don't underestimate myself. I don't look down on myself and say, oh, I am a teacher. No, 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 no. I respect myself. I don't envy anyone who is a surgeon or a lawyer or whatever. I respect myself, so I carry myself well. So I can sit at the table with any person who is in any other kind of job, and we could have conversations about anything. I don't feel less of a human being or less of anything because I am a teacher at all.
Wow, I see. Now, let me ask you this. What actually inspires you to teach?
What inspires me? Like I said, first of all, two people, my brother and then Mr. Afo of Spelling Bee. They have been the major influences in my life, you know, on this journey that I am on. So, yeah.
Interesting. All right. So, did family, friends, and even job stereotypes concerning teaching somehow trigger you to give up on your dream?
Never, 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 never. Stereotypes trigger me to give up my dream. I have never thought about giving up teaching, never. And I don't think that it has even ever occurred to me. I always tell my friends who are in other fields of endeavor that I don't envy you, you know. Maybe the thing that people look at when they are talking to teachers or looking at the career of teaching is the income. You know, that teachers are not well paid. But I decided right from the university that I was going to work in an international school system because I felt it is such an environment to give me the opportunity to grow and to be better at my job. So, yes, so I don't regret ever.
So, is teaching a calling or just any other profession?
Is teaching a calling or just any other profession? I think it is both. You need to be passionate about whatever you're doing, just like any other profession. Teaching is a profession. But for me, I think that it is in me, it's in my blood. You know, I that is what I want to do. That I've identified, you know, that as my calling. You know, to educate, not just the English language, but to educate. And so I love it. And that's why no one can say anything to intimidate me or make me feel any less. No one, no one. Trust me. I know people who are medical doctors who I earn better salaries than. So if I say I don't envy anyone who is a lawyer or who anyone who is, it's because I put value on myself. So the whole teaching profession has changed. It's not what it used to be in the past where teachers died as paupers. You know, a lot has changed. So for me, it is both a calling and a profession.
What personality traits do you have that makes you exceptional at what you do?
Wow, what personality traits to make exceptional at what you do? You have to be committed at it. You have to know your stuff. You know, you have to know what you're teaching. You have to be good. You have to be the best at what you're doing. You have to be dedicated. You have to be, yeah, dedication, commitment, and knowing what you're doing. You know, that is all. If you're not dedicated, if you're not committed to it, you'll do it haphazardly. Trust me.
I give you the credit. Interesting. You know, having a kind personality is one of the qualities of a good teacher. But frankly, in our part of the world, some recalcitrant students tend to take advantage of this trait to misbehave. So, how do you balance discipline and this personality of yours?
Wow, how do I balance discipline and yes, I that's a really good question. That's, having a kind personality is one of the qualities of a good teacher. But that does not mean that you shouldn't be firm, you shouldn't be assertive. If you're loose, if you allow students to have their way, they'll take advantage of it. So for me in my classroom, if I have for every academic year when I get a new set of students in my class, we make the rules together. You don't come and see any set of rules in my class, no. When you come, we sit and we make the rules together. I allow my students to tell me the rules that they want us to have in the class and what the the punishment for those rules should be. So I am not the one setting it, they are the ones. So when you flout it and you're punished, you can't blame me because I didn't make the rules, you did. So you just have to be firm and assertive in what you do. Otherwise, trust me, students will take advantage of it.
So, how are you personally contributing to national development as a teacher?
How am I contributing to national development? I am educating. Well, I think I am doing my part by educating because, like Kweji Agri said, if you educate a man, you educate a single person, but if you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation. I think I am educating human beings, and that is enlightenment. Education is a way of bringing people out of poverty, and I don't do that only in the classroom. I do it in spelling bee too. And another way by which I think I am contributing to national development is I don't I don't only teach my students the contents of their syllabus. I teach them life. I talk to them about life. How to be a good citizen, how to, save, how to start a business, how to focus their direct their interests into things that they like, so that we don't force students into choosing subjects or studying things that they don't want. I had a student, she's graduated now, who was very skilled with her hands. She could braid hair, she could style hair, and she knew right there and then that this was what she wanted to do. She wanted to work with her hands, But if you have parents who are educated and highly educated parents, they want you to go to school, have a certificate, something to show. There was a point that this girl wanted to quit school and then set up a business. I thought it was a brilliant idea, but she needed to go to the university. It's important. It's like a prerequisite. Of course, there are people who have quit school and started business, but in our part of the world, that certificate is important. So even if you want to start a business, even if you want to trade or do whatever, just get a first degree. It's very important. So I think I'm contributing my quota.
It is indispensable that people who can do their best at teaching are forced to do their worst at the wrong profession. So, evidently, many people are frustrated on their jobs these days. So, what advice would you give to anyone who is in any way contributing to this occupational frustration?
What advice? Wow, I think that the best thing to do if you're frustrated about which occupation to settle in is to look at your interests. That is the very first thing to do. What are you interested in doing? And direct your energy towards that path. Every human being on this earth has something that they are interested in. Even the students in the classroom who aren't able to get A stars, in all subjects, there is something that they are interested in. And so when I talk to students, that's what I tell them. What are you interested in? Whatever you're interested in, direct your passion towards that. And it will be easy.
That is very true, Ivy. Very, very true. In the next life, if you have the opportunity to pursue a career, would you still want to be a teacher?
I will still be a teacher. I think teaching to me is the best profession in the world. I'm not saying it because I am a teacher. It's a very difficult profession, but there's nothing better than imparting knowledge. Someone who knows absolutely nothing. And then at the end of the day, when they're leaving your classroom, they have something in your head, and this is because you told them. Oh my goodness, I'll not be any other thing apart from a teacher. Yeah. In my next life and the life after that, I'll still be a teacher.
Oh, see how touched I am. I am so, so touched. Before you go, is there anything you would like to say?
Is there anything I would like to say that I am very proud of you. I am happy about what you're doing. You should keep it up. And just as I am passionate about teaching, I want to see you being passionate about journalism. And if you must know, that's also another thing. That's also another passion of mine. I did a bit of radio when I was in the university. So yes, if you ever heard me on radio, I'm not sure, I don't think you should be surprised. I'm sure you know about my podcast, Exhale. Yeah. So I think that you should keep on keeping or keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you, and I am happy to see that you're one of the few people to come out of your school and be doing great for yourself. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am so I'm so excited, and I have to apologize for putting this off for so long. Thank you.
Oh, I am blushing. I am so blushing. Thank you so much. And frankly, you have contributed a lot to who I am today. You brought out the confidence in me in class. I really remember those days when everybody's like, you are the talkative. Stop being so loud in class. Stop trying to answer every question. But you brought out that confidence in me to stand tall and to be confident. I am so, so thankful to you, and I want to use this opportunity to thank you so much for touching my life. God richly bless you. So, viewers, my cherished viewers, this is how we draw down the curtain for this session of The Gist with Chacha. I want you to stay with me because I have a lot more for you. For now, bye and see you next week.